guys, welcome back to another episode of our series. So today we'll be talking about reconciliation and forgiveness, and this episode title is Beyond the Scar.
When we think about peace, we usually picture calm situations. No fights, no tension, and no drama. But in reality, peace isn't just what's happening around us. Sometimes the loudest noise comes from the inside. True? From memories we regret, mistakes we wish we undo, or harm we never properly acknowledge.
Okay. This is especially related to university students and young adults. At this stage of life, we start looking back more honestly and we reflect on who we were, how we treated others, and are we proud of that version of ourselves. So today we're going to talk about one of the hardest part of peace, which is reconciliation. Can someone who used to hurt others truly feel regret and change? And if they do, what does healing look like?
I am Nisrien.
And I'm Anis. This is Beyond the Scar. So when we hear the word bully, we often treat it as a permanent label, like something bad, end of story. But from a peace studies perspective, bullying is rarely that simple. It's usually a reflection of unresolved internal conflict.
Yes, you are right. A good example of this is the anime called A Silent Voice. The main character, Shoya, bullies a deep classmate from when he's younger. At the time, his actions comes from immaturity, peer pressure, and a lack of empathy. But as he grows older, the consequences catch up to him.
Yeah, he becomes isolated and overwhelmed with guilt and haunted by what he did. The power he thought he had when he was a child completely vanished and remained with guilt. So this reflects real life, as many people who bully don't really feel the weight of their actions until they're old enough to understand the damage they've caused.
There's a common idea that hurt people. True. While it doesn't excuse harmful behavior, it helps explain it. People who feel powerless, insecure, or unheard sometimes try to gain control by hurting others.
But here's the thing, you can't build peace by ignoring the past. As we enter adulthood, we're forced to face who we used to be, and without accountability, that internal noise never really goes away. So this brings us to an important distinction that often gets misunderstood. So forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing.
Forgiveness is internal. It's about the person who was hurt, choosing to let go of resentment for their own well-being. It doesn't require contact, apology, or even acknowledgement from the other person.
In A Silent Voice, the anime, the story doesn't rush forgiveness. The characters struggle, hesitate, and sometimes fail. And that's realistic because forgiveness is a process, it's not just a moment.
True. Reconciliation, on the other hand, is mutual. It requires effort from both sides. The person who caused harm must show genuine change, and the person who was hurt must feel safe enough to engage again.
Another example we can see this is in school or workplace bullying cases in real life. Sometimes the victims just move on without ever reconnecting with the bully, and that's okay because forgiveness does not always mean rebuilding relationships.
True. For the person seeking redemption, peace often comes through atonement. You may not be able to undo the past, but you can change how you act now.
Yeah, you can.
Standing up for others, calling out harmful behaviors, or becoming more empathetic, there are ways of taking responsibility.
So this brings us to an even bigger question. Can a community be peaceful if it doesn't allow people to change? This relates to SDG 16, which promotes peace, just, and inclusive societies.
Yes, SDG 6 reminds us that peace isn't just about avoiding conflicts. It's about fairness, accountability, and creating spaces where people feel safe and respected, especially in in schools and universities.
From an Islamic perspective, justice and reconciliation go hand in hand. Islam emphasizes justice and Islah, which is reconciliation, holding people accountable while still allowing room for repentance and change.
Restorative approaches reflect this balance. Instead of defining people by their worst mistakes, they focus on repairing harm, rebuilding trust, and preventing future conflict.
Peace doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means learning from it and choosing compassion, responsibility, and justice to build a strong community.
Peace isn't just a straight line. It involves reflection, discomfort, and growth.
Whether you're healing from past harm or learning to take responsibility for causing it, peace is a practice. It is something we would choose over and over again.
Thank you for listening to Beyond the Scar.
Stay thoughtful and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.